Peter says, because the leaves of mildly drought-stressed plants are tougher in texture than the leaves of abundantly watered plants, insects prefer to feed on the leaves of abundantly watered plants. So I guess like whenever like there's drought, the plants are tougher, and so the insects must prefer like the less tough leaves. Therefore, to minimize crop damage, farmers should water crops only just enough to ensure there is no substantial threat from a lack of water to either the growth or the yield of the crops. All right, so what is Peter's conclusion here?
That the water, to minimize crop damage, farmers should water crops only just enough to ensure that there is no substantial threat from lack of water to either the growth or yield of the crops.
Yeah, and I get where he's coming from. They're like to fix this one problem about crop damage from insects, like you should do this. Like, just water them just enough. But do you think this is a valid conclusion? Like, what is Peter assuming here?
He's assuming that I'm just gonna go back for a second.
Like, why? Like, does he like? Do you think that he should just water them just enough to not have substantial threat?
He's assuming that because the insects feed on the plants that have a lot of water, so you should do like less water.
Right, and I get that. That's what he thinks. But in order for that conclusion to be valid, he's basing his whole decision on this idea that like I guess like he's assuming that protecting like this lack of water and creating these tougher plants is going to be better than having enough water that like maybe there's like more nutritional benefit or something, right? Like he's assuming that protecting them from the insects is more important than the potential benefits of giving the plants more water.
Okay.
Like, what if like this water like just helps them just enough? Like couldn't water be like couldn't like this is like saying like I'm only going to give you enough food to survive that ensures that there's no substantial threat to you dying.
Mm-hmm.
Like couldn't you maybe do better in life if you had more nutrition or food? But I'm like, well, I'm only going to give you the amount that like there's no substantial threat of you dying. But couldn't you thrive more if you had more nutrients maybe? Like what if I only give you the bare minimum amount, like for you personally, I only give you the bare minimum water to keep you alive?
Yeah, no.
Like couldn't you potentially do better if you had more water?
No, exactly, yeah.
But so what Peter's assuming is like it's better to have these tough leaves and protect from these insects than the potential benefits of watering more. I'm not saying it's true or not true. I'm just saying that's what Peter's assuming.
But he makes the assumption, okay, yeah.
Like he thinks it's more important to protect them from these insects than it is to water them more for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so how does Jennifer respond then? You be Jennifer.
Indeed. In fact, a mild drought-stressed plant will divert a small amount of its resources from normal growth to the development of pesticidal toxins, but abundantly watered plants will not.
So Jennifer actually agrees.
Yeah.
So now
but he like adds something to it.
Yes. So if we want to strengthen what Peter is saying here, we want to strengthen this idea that we should only water them enough to ensure there's no substantial threat. What's your prediction of what you can add in that's going to strengthen that? Because what remember in strengthen, we want to find the flaw and fix it. So what did we say the flaw was?
The flaw was that he made an assumption. So we need something to gap the assumption.
Yeah, like that where we said that like there's no reason, there's no like my prediction is there's no benefit to watering them more than this. Mm-hmm. There's no reason that they would ever need more water than this bare minimum water. That would strengthen it, right?
So maybe like something like we need the resources for like So give them the bare minimum because we need the other resources for other things or something?
No, what I'm saying is the plant, like if we would say the plants don't need more water than this bare minimum, like there's no reason to give them more water. So
If
in
we
this
give them,
situation,
if we if we give them too much water, they could die.
yeah, but I think more so what if I said like what if like there's this level of water and like it's like vitamins, right? Like if you meet your vitamins, you can take more vitamins, but you're just going to pee them out. Like maybe water's like that, where it's like once you hit your level that you need, having more of it isn't going to do anything to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that were true, it would fix our assumption. Let's go into our answer choices and just look into this. So let's start with A. Read
Okay.
A for me.
The leaves of some crop plants are much larger and therefore absorb more water than the leaves of some other crop plants. So I think I originally picked this one and only to find out that it was wrong because I think it actually like kind of weakened it in some way or it doesn't really do much to it.
Yeah, and what does some mean?
It means like at least one.
Yeah, so it's not very strong. So it's a
No.
very mild answer.
And strengthened questions need a strong answer, like you said before.
Yeah, so we get a cross A off. Excellent.
In industrialized nations, there are more crops that are abundantly watered than there are crops grown under mild stress. I don't think we talked about industrialized.
Yeah, we don't care about. I'm making
nations.
sure that we don't
Yeah,
care
it's
about
not
industrial
relevant.
nations. But yeah, we don't care. Yeah, sorry, we don't care about industrial. All right, what about C?
Insect damage presents a greater threat to crop plants than does mild drought stress. So the insects, so it's more of a bad thing that the insects feed on the abundantly watered plants.
Well, this is saying that the insect damage, they're saying like insect damage is worse than mildly drought. So I like this one because this is saying the damage from the insect is going to hurt it more than the water is. And
Okay.
this is the assumption we said Peter is making. So we want that to be true.
Okay. So we have to find something that's showing that, oh, like
It's actually okay. It's better to protect the crops from insects than potential water damage or not having enough water.
Farmers are not always able to control the amount of water that their crops receive when, for instance, there are rainstorms in the areas where crops are growing. I think that weakens it because the conclusion's making the suggestion that the farmer should water the crops enough. And then this is saying, oh, like they can't control it. So
Yeah. Excellent. All right.
the Mexican bee, oh, I already don't like this. The Mexican bean beetles are more likely to feed on leaves of slightly distraught soybeans than oak. Oak lace bugs are to feed on the leaves of abundantly watered soy. Okay, we don't talk about soybeans.
And we don't care about like one beetle compared to another
Yeah,
bug. Like we're talking
because
about
even
insects in general.
yeah, because even the stimulus even said itself like it's an insect, so like in general kind of thing. So
Excellent. So we can
so by process of elimination, it's C.
Fabulous.
Yeah, yeah.